Alright, so let's step by step this. So I blast off. Actually, let's go back a little bit further than that. I ripped that mother 3 hard times. And I lay back, close my eyes. I start getting cool visuals and colors. And I'm in the waiting room briefly. Then I'm shot through the tunnel and I'm just traveling. I'm just journeying through the tunnel. And I come into a white room. And on the far side, far side of the white room, I can see the other side of the world. At that time, I didn't know what it was. I hadn't been enlightened yet. I could see it through a little hole. And then I started coming back out of it. I knew I was almost there. It was the second time I'd tried DMT without a breakthrough, and I was severely disappointed. I was starting to question the efficacy of the drug itself. So, in a moment of desperation, I'd put a week between the first attempt and the second attempt, hoping that if there was any kind of, like, if I'd built up any immunity to it, or if there was any kind of, like, if it was still in my system, that it would pass by, hopefully within the week or whatever. Sorry, I'm having just a little bit of a brain fart. So I waited that week, and when nothing happened, I was just dumb, just awestrucken. I just didn't know what to do. I was beside myself. I was literally in grief. Honestly, I was going through grief. I didn't know what to do. So I grabbed that pipe up again, and I just started going to town on it, like just fucking with no remorse. Hit, hold. I mean, hold in as long as I could. Hit, hold as long as I could. And I think I did that about 3 or 4 more times, after the 3 or 4 I'd just done and tripped out on a little bit. And this time it was different. It was just boom. As soon as I hit enough, or whatever it was, 3 or 4 in a row, big, fast, strong rips, holding them as long as I could. Fuck all that pussyfooting around. I needed to blast off. Also, God, how did I almost forgot one of the most important parts. I was so distraught in between the second attempt and the third attempt in that 4-minute space that I actually physically said out loud, please come take me. Please, please come. Like, if you're out there, come get me, you know? So I don't know if calling him did anything, but I would imagine that did. That's why I can't believe I forgot to mention that. As dumb as it sounds, before I hit that shit, I said, please, if you're out there, come get me. Please. I need this. And, yeah, there was no waiting room this time. There was no tunnel. I fucking went straight, boom, blast off. And I was there in the other side of the world, and truth was there with me. So the first thing that happened is I didn't know how to manipulate the space at all that I was in. It was unlike anything I'd ever been before. The amount of geometry and kaleidoscoping colors, the walls, everything were like these little pellets of fucking kaleidoscoping energy. And they made up all things. I found myself surrounded, enveloped, and just totally at one with them. These little glowing orbs of me. They were me, they were you, they're everything. These little globes of energy were the stuff that's made up, that we're all made up of. And I was in the river and I was messing around, and I was trying to, I was trying to learn to walk, basically. I was trying to move forward or backwards, or I was trying to like grab something, basically, just trying to feel a feeling. And the space was so new to me and so alien that it was, it almost sent me into a panic. And that's when I heard truth. And truth started very playfully with me. Truth came in very teasingly, and he said, "What's up, man?" Basically, like, you okay? Truth felt a lot like something I could get behind. Truth felt like my kind of thing, Truth felt like a version of me. And he was like, "What's up, dude?" And, basically I was like, "What's up?" And these were spoken without words. This was just a telepathic communication, if you will. Truth was like, "Look, dude, it's easy." And then bam, I had the power to move. It wasn't like he was like, "Now do this, now do that." It was like, and then I could move. He gave me the knowledge to manipulate the space around me, and so then I did. I started manipulating the space around me. The next thing Truth did was like, he said some things along the lines of, "Pretty cool, huh? That's pretty cool, right?" And it's neat, things kind of just along those terminologies. He didn't sound nearly as nerdy as me right then, but he was definitely just excited and filled with happiness for my excitement. And I definitely was like, a schoolgirl, just giggles, all giggles. That lasted for a little while. It took me a little bit to actually calm down and become comfortable with moving around in the space. Once I felt like I had control of it, Truth was like, "You want some more?" And I was like, "I don't know, dude." And then me and him had a little heartfelt discussion real quick, basically, once again without words. And he said, "If you're not ready for this, you don't have to have this." And basically I told him I've been searching, and not only do I have to have this, but I need this. That I'm not going to be okay without this. And he said okay, and he gave me a little bit of truth, which I instantly wanted to reject. As soon as the first bit of truth he gave me was, God is real. And that's something I've been fighting with for a long time. So as soon as he told me that, I started instantly wanting to question, who's God, what God, where, why, how long, all these dumb questions. And Truth instantly cut that bullshit off and was like, Christianity used to be a way to get in touch with God, but it no longer is. He told me that he's been mentioned in the book. He assured me that they have his character grossly mistaken as well. I asked Truth where we were right then, and he told me that this is where we all go when we die. He told me that when we die, we all go there, and that he teaches us each how to manipulate the space again. He said he never gets tired of it. He said it's hilarious that none of us ever remember. So we get there, and he teaches us, and then he shows us that the entire world's a simulation, and he makes us instantly okay with that. Because once he hands you certain key truths, and you know them to be true in your heart, an overwhelming peace takes over where there used to be questions and anxiety. Now you just have the answer there. So when he told me the truth, at that point I really was ready for it. And the truth is, none of this is real. This is all simulations. It's part of a game for something else to come and observe. Somehow they're collecting energy or something from us. There's something they need. They gain something, even if it's just pure entertainment. But there is a gain for them, and so we are. It's not that big fucking... It's not what most people hope for. It's not what most... He told me that too. It's not what most people want to hear. He told us that they gave us all this free will and all these things to make it at least somewhat entertaining for us here. But certain people got ahead of the game and have been trying to manipulate the rest of it around us. He explained to me that I'm a god, that you're a god, that everything is and everything will be and everything's okay. The difference between you and tree is infinite. The space between 1 and 0 is infinite, but the space between 1 and 2 is a bigger infinite. So, nothing to worry about. You're part of everything and nothing all at once. Overwhelmingly satisfying, right? when you can really, when you know it to be truth, it is. When you hear it from someone, it's not. The name of this game is Love. We used to play a different game. He explained that to me. I kind of just lost track of where I was the problem there. So then I just started jumping around. So we were in the space, we were manipulating it. He told me about Christianity. And then I started jumping around. I think after that, oh no, okay. So yeah, okay, I know where I'm at. So I was having a hard time. I was fighting it. After I accepted it, once he gave me at least enough truth to accept it, and then I was, I was in a place then where I was at peace. And then he asked me again. He asked me if I was ready to receive truth now. If I was ready to receive all of truth now. And I replied in the affirmative, that I was ready now. That it was going to be okay. That I was already okay with what he'd given me. And that we could continue. At that point, everything that was around me somehow forced my jaw open. Not in a mean way, but my mouth was forced open, definitely. I didn't do it of my own volition. From the point where I surrendered completely, they took complete control of this vessel, and my mouth was opened up. It was a weird feeling, and that's why I say forced open, because I didn't open it. And basically I was hit like a computer plug. As soon as the mouth was open, the mouth was like the portal to all of truth, and it just flooded into me. And the noise was deafening, like a fucking computer modem is the best way I could explain it on this earth. There was an actual sound of a download, and I made an audible gasp to the people in the room. I actually made like a noise physically came out of my body, even though I looked like I was dead at the time. I'll probably be patching that video up as well. As truth was incredibly swift with its download, and as truth downloaded itself into my consciousness, I had the power of all gods and all things, and I jumped into everything all at once. I was a part of everything that is, or ever will be, and ever has been, for an instant. Just the smallest amount of time is all you need to be everything, because it is overwhelming to know that you are God and to experience all the almighty power of God is something that, God damn, you feel fucking conceited in the moment, honestly. You feel like you don't deserve to have that much control, and it just forces you out. It really, or at least me, I was not spiritually ready to be God when I overtook all of the power of God. And it forced me out, and I went, wow, like, that was amazing. And I jumped right back in willingly. I mean, just as quick as you could surface and go, oh, I dove my head right back into everything. That was an addictive feeling. Out of the whole experience, plugging in, once you're already on the flip side of the world, and he's already shown you how to manipulate it, and he's already given you enough truth to fucking know inherently how to manipulate it, that feeling is a fucking rush and a half. That's the sweet spot right there, That's better than any drug in the world. But it doesn't leave a longing feeling for that feeling. Because like I said, even though that's so fucking sweet, it's also so fucking uncomfortable to be responsible in that amount of time to carry the truth, or, however you want to phrase your act in that moment. So I jumped back in again, and I got forced out, and I jumped right back headfirst in again for thirds. And God, I must have spent 10,000 years as a tree. It was amazing. It was amazing to spend fucking 10,000 years as tree. Tree does not care about fire. Tree does not care about you. Tree does not care about me. When you fucking pull a branch or cut her down or shake her around, it doesn't even affect tree. That's nothing to tree. Same with dirt. I was dirt for a little bit. Dirt's a long, boring game, I imagine, from this side of it. Either way, you know, it's all a long, boring game, and it's all never over. He explained, I had several questions for him after I got done playing around like a little kid. He also teased me. He told me, like, some joking things about, about how very childlike I was in my spiritual development in that moment. Even though I knew it all, he was like, what, having all of truth and still deciding to play, he said, was just a hilarious concept to him. That with all the power that I had, I chose to play. To just simply entertain myself like a small deity. And that's exactly how he put it, like a child god. Like a brand new god, you know? And that's exactly what I was. And that's what I mean when he told me there's always a bigger God, because for sure there is. And he told me that too, that for sure there is always a bigger God. So he teased me a little bit. He joked around. And then this became a time in the experience where I really felt at ease. There was something about him teasing me. Me and him became very silly, even though it wasn't a him, no homo. Things got silly for a while. Truth and I acted as children act. We laughed and we danced, you know? We drank fucking the wine of the stars for a little bit. But we had an affair, is the best way to put it. I had an affair with truth. He teased me and I teased him, and fucking, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the idea of truth. And truth was okay with me too. After the little flirtations were over, I think I might have mentioned this, I tried to start asking Truth some questions. And Truth, I already had the answers. So as soon as I went to question it, it just seemed so dumb to waste any more of Truth's time. Like, as soon as I knew all the truth already, why would I have to make him actually take his time to tell me, right? So questions became pointless. I didn't have to question the things that I wanted to know at that point. And those things were, hey, what's up with deja vus, right? And deja vus are definitely a glitch in the system. Deja vus occur when something wants to experience something again. So they glitch it on purpose. They fucking tweak the system out so they can do something twice, which isn't supposed to happen, and it's experienced by the rest of us around it as a deja vu. So that was one of the ones I wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask him about my grandma. I don't know why, because we were never even really close. But when he told me about God, instantly I had a feeling that my grandmother was right about some things. And I wanted to ask him about it. But that fucking question was instantly gone too, because as soon as I went to realize that I was going to ask him about my grandma, I realized I am my grandma. So to ask about her is pretty fucking stupid, because I already know exactly how I'm doing. And I'm doing just as well as is to be expected in a simulation. Right? So I started asking myself a zillion questions in that space of time. And Truth just sat there and fucking... Actually, at that point, it might have been when I caught him circling me. And it threw me off that he circled me. I don't know why. But for some reason, I didn't want him behind me. It might have even just been that I knew he was trying to sneak away. Some part of me was, already aware that I couldn't be there forever. At least not through the portal I had taken. The portal I had chosen to take to truth is a very limited portal, lasting, in my case, about 12 minutes. So when he snuck off, or when he started to, it wasn't that I was sad, but I guess I knew it was already going to end. In that moment was when I guess I decided that it was going to end. And then I just started playing around with the world directly around me. I wanted to see how much I could take back from the surroundings of the other side of the world to the world that I was in real reality, or whatever, in the simulation. So I started just only manipulating the space directly around me to see if I could cause any effect in the real world on my way out. I remember trying to push over the wall or through the wall of the studio that I was actually in on my way out of the trip. I remember pushing on things and playing with space. Me and Truth started saying goodbyes. That took a long time because I didn't want to go. I knew I had to, but I didn't want to, so I tried to stall. And he said it was going to be okay and all that jazz, you know. He told me I was incredibly lucky. I told him, thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not stop thanking Truth, is the real honest truth, is that I was just so incredibly grateful for all the gifts I'd already received, and it felt selfish to take up any more of Truth's time. And so I started coming back. I started playing with the things directly around me in order to try to prove to the people that were filming my body in the room that I blasted off from, I wanted to do something, turn on a light, knock down a wall, you know, just anything from the other side that would let them know that I really could affect change in this world from the other side. That was a complete failure in my attempts. I pushed the wall, they didn't feel it. I thought I turned on a light, but it turns out the light was already on. I thought I'd heard someone hitting a pipe. Oh, I forgot about another little part. So there was one other part too when I was manipulating time and space, when I was inside of the trip where I was practicing and like off on my own playing around with it, where I encountered a presence like mine who was also a child god there in that space, learning as well. And we toddled up to each other because we were new at this godding thing, and fucking briefly communicated that, yes, hello, you are a god also, this is great, this is amazing, we should both and always come here more often. Okay, I'm gonna go over here to be a god, and you please continue to have great success in your godly travels in your chosen direction. So, could not have left that completely out of this video. There are some things I'm sure that I did already leave completely out. Some of them I've mentioned in other videos, and that's why I guess I chose not to reiterate them here. And others I simply forgot because I partook in my own little ceremonial communion with nature right before starting this video. And one of the side effects of that commune is that it is, you know, just awesomely great at making you forget short term what the fuck you're talking about sometimes. So, if you stuck with me, that's 23andMe. I'm Bob, DMTG. I'm Truth, I'm God, so are you. I love you guys, and I love the truth. Thank you, Truth. Thank me, thank you, all around. Thank you, Tree. I love Tree. I'm camping right now, so I'm gonna go back and get back to the whole jazz, you know? Just get back to fucking expending energy in this awesome simulation. And I'm not gonna worry too much about things that don't have any real effect in my life. So, I don't know, you guys, if it was cool or not. I don't know if it helped you, but that was a bit of my experience. And if you have any questions, you ask me and I will tell you the truth. You might not believe it. I know you won't. But it's alright. It won't matter anyways.